Hello everyone, thank you for tuning into my video today on the packline man defense. In this video, we're going to talk about some principles of this defense, and in the end, we'll show a short video on just the basics of player movement on defense. Now, I run this defense in a pretty tight formation here. We play in a league that the shooting isn't great yet. So we keep our defenders pretty close to the basket for the most part, and you'll see that at the end, but there's also some adjustments you can make to change it up a little bit. So first of all, the benefits of running pack line against just a normal man or a help side man defense, it definitely prevents dribble penetration because an offensive player that drives past his defender is going to run into a fence of defenders that are going to be able to stop that dribble penetration. Okay, so the gaps to penetrate are going to be almost non-existent. This gives the on-ball defender the ability to be super aggressive, knowing that if they get beat, they're going to have help right behind them. So we want our defenders, whoever's guarding the ball, to be extremely aggressive, hands in the face, right up against the on-ball offensive player. It definitely provides high protection against backdoor cuts and flash cuts. It almost eliminates backdoor cuts almost altogether. And it is highly likely to cause an opponent to take more shots from the perimeter. And those shots should all be contested by hard closeouts. Okay, so again, this is why this is really good to run against a team who's not a great shooting team. If you're playing against a team that can shoot the lights out from three, this is not a good defense to run unless your team is excellent at closing out. Some drawbacks, as I just said, it requires you to constantly close out and close out hard, which is the defensive skill that can be a little bit hard to master, especially for young players. An opponent that shoots well from the perimeter is going to get a lot of outside looks against this defense, and if they shoot well, they're going to score often, unless your team is great at closing out. Also, we play in a league with no shot clock, so since there's no shot clock, if we're down in the fourth quarter, teams, if they run a good offense against us, can run that clock out pretty significantly here. So if we're down in the fourth quarter and we're down 8 to 10 points, this is not a defense we're going to be able to run, knowing that we need to climb back into the game. Some basic rules, most importantly, all players must have both their feet inside the pack line at all times. What does that mean? That's up to what the coach calls their pack line on this defense. Every team's pack line should be a little bit different, but basically it's usually going to be about 5 feet inside the three-point line when your player does not have the ball. So if your player that you're guarding does not have the ball, you are essentially guarding the lane and guarding any dribble penetration. You are there to help. If your player has the ball, you're expected to play with extreme ball pressure on your defender. We pick up as soon as the defender crosses half court. The on-ball defender, 2 places you cannot get beat. You cannot let your offensive player beat you baseline. You also cannot your offensive player beat you straight because you closed out slowly. Okay, you have to close out right in front of them and make them, if they're going to beat you, make them beat you to the middle of the court where our help is going to be. And then fourth, we don't want the ball to be passed into the low post at all. And if it is, we want to make sure that that person gets doubled pretty quickly and has no shot. They have to pass the ball back out. So here's the positioning. The positioning, the on-ball defender, we want extreme ball pressure. Like we said, extreme ball pressure. Why? We want to take away their vision and not let them get a quick shot or a pass into the low post. And then we already talked about this, do not get baseline or in a straight line. Your off-ball defenders, that's the 4 people that are not guarding the ball carrier at this point. Both of your feet should be inside the pack line. You want an open stance and to be in help positioning, ready to help if the player who's guarding the ball gets beat. You got to make sure you can see your man and the ball at all times. And when you move from on ball to off ball, we say jump and swipe. So jump real quick, swipe at the ball, and then back off into the pack line. Last thing we're talking about here before we take a look at a video is closeouts. All right, you want to close out with 2 high hands to discourage rhythm shots and quick passes over the top. And if you're closing out into a corner, again, do not let them beat you baseline. right, this creates a take away their vision mentality. We don't want them to be able to see anything in the middle of the court. All right, the only thing they should be able to see is to the left or right of them on the perimeter. And when we close out, you do a few really hard sprint steps at first towards the ball. And then as you get closer, short, choppy steps as you near the ball with hands high. All right, let's take a look at what this looks like in video form. All right, here we can see our half-court defense set up here at our pack line. Okay, so the black line, obviously all the way around here, is our three-point line. This blue dash line here, this is what we are going to use as our pack line. Now again, we are in a league where the shooting isn't great, so we're allowed to play a little bit further away from the three-point line. If you're in a league where the defense, where the offense shoots really well, maybe your pack line extends a little bit further. Maybe it's more like here. Okay, but for us, we are going to be right there, as close to the perimeter as possible. So if the ball is up top like it is here, all of our players, 1 through 5, are obviously all eyes on the ball, but the only player who's guarding their man is the ball carrier. All right, so 1 is up top here with extreme pressure on the ball handler. And you can see 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all inside of our pack line, okay? Both feet inside of our pack line. Essentially, 1 foot should probably be on the lane, okay? So 5 should have his 1 foot here and then 1 foot off, and 4 should have 1 foot here and 1 foot off, okay? So let's see what happens real quick on a couple different passes here. So let's say 1 passes it over to 3. All right, we want 1 to do what's called a jump and swipe, where they're just going to jump into the lane here, swipe with the ball, and then they're going to fade back into the lane. All right, 3 is going to close out hard on their man right there, okay? 5 doesn't nearly need to move. They're good. But 2 and 4 should drift a little bit more towards the middle, all right? Even though we're still in this pack line offense, we want to be closer to the ball. So you're free to drift more towards the middle, okay? That will help prevent any backdoor cuts underneath, okay? So if 3 passes over, let's say 3 passes it over here to 5. 5 now is going to close out hard on his player, and 3 has to jump and swipe at that ball, see if they can get a quick steal, quick hand on the ball, and they're gonna fade back into here, into where 5 just was. All right, and then 1 can sag down a little lower, and 2 and 4 are in good position still as well. All right, let's reset this back to the top. Okay, so here we are back at the top, and let's say we're playing a team that's not running a 5-out set. Let's say they're running a 4-1 set, a 4-out, 1-in set. So maybe their offense looks a little bit, a little bit like this. Maybe they're bringing it up the side over here. Okay, we're still playing that hard, aggressive defense there. Okay, 5 is going to have to be on his player, and really what we want is 5 to front that player as much as possible. We do not want there to be a pass into the low post. And if there is, we want that pass to go over the top, because 4 is going to be over here sagging into the lane as well. If that pass goes over the top here, 4 should be able to close out and help on 5. Okay? So the ball's a little bit over on the right side here. 2 is going to move over a little bit as well. 3 can back off a little bit here. 5 is probably going to be a little bit lower on this edge. So now we have our pack line defensive set right here. Okay, again, now let's say the ball is passed over to 3. 3 is going to hard close out here. 5, we still want you fronting your low post. 4 is going to sag underneath really to basically double 5 down low. 1's going to do a hard jump and swipe there and then fall back into the pack line. Okay, so really we should have 4 players inside this line at all times. At all times. Okay, we want to really just clog up that lane as much as possible. Let's reset here. Why is that? Let's say 1 gets beat off the dribble, which is going to happen at some point this year. 1 gets beat off the dribble to his left. Where is 1 going to go? Well, these are going to go right into the belly of our defense, where 2 and 3 are ready to jump in and help, forcing them to pass back out to the perimeter. What happens then? 2 can hard close out. 1 should have hopefully caught up to his guy by then. So now we are right back in our pack line defense. Okay, resetting one more time. The last thing we want to talk about here is screens. We will not switch on screens at all. Why? Because we should already have help underneath. So let's say 5 is going to go set a screen on 4 over here. First of all, the screen really shouldn't be that effective because we're so far off of our offensive player, there's not really much room for them to work with. So if this 4 is going to come underneath, 5 should be right there to help on them, okay? And along with the fact that 3 should be in the passing lane as well. By the time that 4 should get through there, our 4 should be able to recover and front that offensive 4. All right, so we don't want to switch on any screens at all. We want to just trust our teammates that help is on the way in the pack line. Okay? Let me reset here one last time. We're actually going to reset to a 5-out set here for the offense. Okay, so we got the 5-out set here on the offense. I did talk about this earlier, but I just wanted to make sure that we understand what I mean by it. There really should be no chance for a backdoor cut here. All right, we are not overplaying off the ball at all. The reason why we want to do that here is if we did overplay this, obviously that sets them off a backdoor cut here for that 3. Or if this guy overplays out here, we got an off-ball cut down here. But we do not want to do that at all. So off-ball backdoor cut should be non-existent. All right, and that includes the ball gets down here. So the ball gets down there to the 5 in the corner. Obviously, he's going to close out hard here. And everyone else kind of sags to clog up that lane. But remember what we talked about here. Besides the fact that no backdoor cut should work, we do not want to let this player drive baseline. Why? There's no help baseline. There's no help this way. All of our players are here in the middle, ready to help. So if you're going to get beat, which hopefully never happens, but if it does, let that player only be able to beat you towards the middle of the defense, because here we have all of our help ready to go. Thank you, as always, for watching one of my videos. Please leave any questions or comments down below in the comments section. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel for a lot more of basketball coaching ideas. And like I said here, check out all my other videos on all of my offensive sets and defensive sets that I run, along with my inbounds plays as well. Thanks as always, and we'll see you again soon.